Listen to the silence around you right now. It is heavy, isn't it? You have noticed a shift lately. A sudden and undeniable drop in the noise that used to fill your life. Your phone is not ringing the way it used to. The text messages are slowing down, or they are left on read for days at a time. People you once considered close friends, family members, colleagues seem to be slipping through your fingers like sand. Plans are suddenly cancelled. Conversations feel forced, shallow, and abruptly cut short. When you enter a room, there is a strange, unspoken distance. You speak your truth, and it is met with blank stares, awkward shifting, or a quick, dismissive change of subject. You reach out, and you grasp nothing but empty air. This is the physical reality you are experiencing right now. The people you have poured your energy, your time, and your deep empathy into are suddenly nowhere to be found. They are ghosting you, ignoring you, and leaving you standing entirely alone in the physical world. This physical isolation brings a crushing emotional weight. I know the feeling that settles in your chest late at night. It is a deep, profound loneliness that feels almost cold to the touch. You sit there in the quiet, looking at your glowing screen, replaying conversations in your head, wondering what you did wrong. You ask yourself if you are too intense, if you are too broken, or if you simply do not belong in this world at all. The pain of feeling overlooked, of feeling easily discarded by those you loved and sacrificed for, brings tears of pure frustration to your eyes. You feel the sharp, bitter sting of betrayal. You feel a hollow ache in your stomach, a deep confusion that whispers a terrible, toxic lie. It whispers that you are unworthy of connection, that you are destined to be forgotten, that you are fundamentally flawed and unlovable. The emotional agony of this season is intensely real. It is a heavy, dark cloud of rejection that tries to suffocate your radiant light. You feel like the ultimate outcast, the permanent black sheep who has finally been pushed entirely out of the fold and left to freeze in the wilderness. But you must listen to me very carefully right now. The pain you are feeling is a misinterpretation of a much higher cosmic event. You are looking at this through the eyes of the physical matrix, through the limited lens of human ego and earthly attachment. You must elevate your vision. What is happening to you is not an accident. It is not a punishment for being who you are. And it is absolutely, categorically not a rejection. What you are experiencing in the unseen realm is a massive, aggressive spiritual intervention. The Creator, the Most High, the universe itself is forcefully intervening in your timeline. Your vibration has begun to rise to a frequency that the people around you simply cannot sustain. In the spiritual realm, light and dark cannot occupy the same space without severe friction. The entities, the low vibrational attachments, and the parasitic energies that feed on those around you are terrified of your expanding light. They are orchestrating this silence to make you feel weak. But more importantly, the divine is orchestrating this separation to make you invincible. You are not being ignored. You are being separated. This is a divine quarantine. You are being pulled out of the polluted waters you have been swimming in for years. The spiritual realm is actively cutting the cords that have been draining your life force. Every text message that goes unanswered is a parasitic cord being severed by the hand of the divine. Every cancelled plan is a demonic trap you just avoided. The silence is not an empty void, it is an impenetrable shield. A high-frequency barrier has been placed around you by your spirit guides and guardian angels. They are literally hiding you from the energy vampires and spiritual predators in your life. Do not mourn the loss of those who could not see your profound value. Their departure is the absolute highest form of spiritual protection. You have been chosen for a specific mission on this earth, a mission that requires a purified vessel. The divine cannot pour new, high-frequency energy into a life cluttered with low-vibrational people who secretly resent your light. The headaches you have been getting, the sudden exhaustion, the ringing in your ears, these are the physical symptoms of the energetic surgery happening behind the scenes. Your DNA is being upgraded. Your soul is being prepared. And this requires absolute stillness. So, when they ignore you, understand that it is not their choice. The Most High is shutting their mouths and turning their eyes away from you. You are being cloaked. You are being hidden in the secret place of the Most High until your transformation is complete. You are not being ignored. You are being separated, sanctified, and set apart for the next great chapter of your existence. I am glad we are on the same page. Let's pivot to a grounded, empowering perspective. We will maintain that deep, resonant, and validating tone, but focus on the profound psychological and emotional realities of outgrowing your environment. Let us look deeper into the why behind this profound shift in your life. When you experience this sudden quiet, it is incredibly easy to internalize it as a flaw within yourself. But the truth of this separation is not rooted in rejection. It is rooted in profound personal evolution. You are experiencing the very real, often painful friction of outgrowing your environment. Think about who you were just a few years ago, or even a few months ago. You have been doing the quiet, heavy work of healing. You have started to recognize your own worth. And with that recognition comes the drawing of boundaries. You are no longer the person who endlessly compromises their own comfort to keep the peace. You are no longer the emotional sponge, willing to absorb the stress and chaos of everyone around you just to feel useful or loved. You have changed the unwritten rules of engagement, and that shift disrupts the ecosystem you used to live in. People naturally gravitate toward familiar dynamics. When you were willing to endlessly give, people were comfortable endlessly taking. But now, you are vibrating at a different emotional frequency. You are seeking authenticity, deep connection, and mutual respect. When you bring this new, authentic version of yourself to old relationships, it acts like a mirror. Sometimes, people are not ready to look into that mirror. Your growth highlights their stagnation. Your boundaries feel like an offense to people who benefited from your lack of them. They are not necessarily bad people, and you are not a bad person for stepping away. But your core values have fundamentally diverged. They pull away because they do not know how to interact with the version of you that requires respect and emotional maturity. The awkward silences, the cancelled plans, and the distance are simply the natural consequences of two paths diverging in the woods. This period of isolation you are sitting in right now is not a punishment. It is an incubation period. When a caterpillar enters the chrysalis, it must do so completely alone. The structure of who it used to be literally breaks down to make room for what it is becoming right now. Your social structure is breaking down so that you can finally figure out who you are without the constant, deafening noise of other people's expectations. You are being separated from the old so that you have the literal space and energy required to build the new. You are learning to sit with yourself, to become your own safest space, and to cultivate a deep inner peace that does not rely on external validation. The silence is necessary. It is giving you the clarity to rebuild your foundation, brick by solid brick, based on your truth, not your trauma. Let us look exactly at how the people from your old environment are responding to this shift. You are witnessing their reaction in real time, and it is not subtle. The physical pushback is happening right in front of your eyes. They are not just walking away quietly. They are actively resisting the new you. You hear it in the passive-aggressive comments they casually drop into conversation. They say things like, "You've really changed lately," or "You think you're too good for us now." Delivering these phrases not as observations, but as accusations, they attempt to provoke you. They will purposely push your buttons, bringing up old arguments or creating unnecessary drama, just to see if they can drag you back down into the chaotic mud you used to share. They will leave you out of group chats, forget to invite you to gatherings, and orchestrate whisper campaigns behind your back. This is the physical reality of the pushback, a coordinated, often petty attempt to destabilize your new foundation. This physical behavior is designed to trigger a very specific emotional response within you. This brings us to the second layer, the emotional warfare of the guilt trip. They want you to feel the heavy, sinking weight of obligation. They are actively trying to make you feel like the bad guy for simply prioritizing your own mental health when they pull away or act coldly. It is a tactic to instill a deep, panicked fear of abandonment within you. They want you to feel that tight, anxious knot in your stomach, hoping that the emotional discomfort of being alienated will force you to apologize for boundaries you had every right to set. They want you to crave their validation so badly that you will shrink yourself back down, silence your own voice, and return to the comfortable, compliant version of yourself they used to control. The emotional exhaustion you are feeling right now is not accidental. It is the direct result of having to constantly defend your right to simply exist in peace. But we must go deeper. We must look at the psychological core of their reaction. Why are they fighting your growth so aggressively? Because your evolution is a direct threat to their stagnation. You are dealing with individuals who operate from a place of deep, unhealed ego. For years, they relied on your endless empathy, your willingness to fix their problems, and your inability to say no. You were their emotional supply. When you suddenly establish a boundary, you cut off their access to your energy. You shatter the illusion of control they held over you. When you stand tall in your authenticity, you become a walking mirror, reflecting their own insecurities and their refusal to do their own inner work. They are not actually angry at you. They are terrified of what your growth says about them. Your peace is deeply intimidating to someone who only knows how to thrive in chaos. Your ability to walk away highlights their inability to move forward. This is where you must recognize the absolute, undeniable power you hold right now. Their loud, chaotic reaction is the ultimate proof of your quiet strength. They are scrambling because you have reclaimed your sovereignty. You have stopped playing a game that was rigged against you from the very beginning. You do not need to explain your evolution to people who are entirely committed to misunderstanding you. You do not need to translate your peace into a language that their ego can digest. Your silence in the face of their provocation is your greatest weapon. When they try to pull you back into the old dynamic, your refusal to engage is not weakness. It is an impenetrable fortress. You are observing their reaction from a higher vantage point now. You see the manipulation for exactly what it is. You are standing firm in your power. And by simply refusing to shrink, you are winning. Breathe into this space. Let us go to the absolute core of why you are here. At this exact moment in your life, This is the profound truth that has been waiting for you to be quiet enough to hear it. Look at the physical space around you right now. Look at the empty chair at your table. Look at the quiet screen of your phone. Notice the physical lightness in your shoulders, the literal unburdening of your spine, where the crushing weight of other people's expectations used to sit. You are physically standing in the void, the uncharted gap between who you were conditioned to be and who you are actually becoming. The physical shedding of your past is happening all at once. The places you used to go no longer appeal to you. The habits, the routines, the literal physical environments that used to bring you comfort now feel entirely suffocating, like trying to put on a coat that is 3 sizes too small. You are physically outgrowing the container you were placed in. Emotionally, you are experiencing the complex, heavy grief of radical transformation. Let us be entirely honest about the emotional gravity of this truth. It is okay to mourn the illusion of what you thought those relationships were. You are experiencing the emotional death of your old avatar, the version of you that was a people pleaser, the version that played small to keep others comfortable. The sorrow, the fleeting moments of doubt, the sudden waves of nostalgia you feel late at night, these are the natural, emotional shockwaves of a massive psychological paradigm shift. But I want you to feel what is underneath that grief. Beneath the sadness is a slow, steady, rhythmic pulse of undeniable liberation. It is a quiet, deep-seated peace. It is the emotional realization that you are finally safe, because you have finally decided to protect yourself. This brings us to the deepest layer, the philosophical truth of your existence. This is the grand design of your journey. You have always felt different, haven't you? Since you were a child, you looked at the world and knew, inherently, that something was fundamentally off. You were labeled the black sheep, the overly sensitive one, the outcast, the misunderstood empath. But here is the undeniable, universal truth. You were never the black sheep. You were the trailblazer. You were born into your specific family, into your specific environment, to be the one who finally breaks the cycle. You are the cycle breaker. The universe operates on the immutable law of resonance. You simply cannot attract a life of profound peace, authentic love, and high-level purpose if you remain tethered to environments rooted in dysfunction, denial, and unresolved trauma. The separation you are experiencing right now is the universe enforcing its own laws of nature. A vacuum must be created before it can be filled with something new. The universe is actively clearing the stage of your life. It is sweeping away the supporting actors who refuse to grow, because you are stepping into the lead role of your own destiny. This is what it truly means to be chosen. You are not chosen by some arbitrary cosmic lottery. You are chosen because you made the incredibly difficult decision to choose yourself. You chose to do the agonizing, lonely, heavy work of looking in the mirror. You chose to heal your wounds while everyone else around you chose to numb theirs. Because you made that choice, reality must reconstruct itself around you. It must match your new level of emotional maturity and self-respect. This requires a total, uncompromising demolition of the old architecture of your life. The truth you must anchor into today is this: the loneliness you feel right now is not a destination. It is the bridge. You are crossing over the void, leaving behind a life of mere survival, and stepping fully into a life of absolute, unbreakable sovereignty. We have reached the final threshold of this transmission. It is time to physically, emotionally, and energetically seal this truth into your very DNA. We are going to activate your new timeline right now. First, we must ground this activation in the physical layer of your reality. When this video ends, I want you to perform a physical act of detachment. Take your phone, the very device that has been a source of anxiety, and physically place it in another room. Walk away from it. Feel the soles of your feet connecting solidly with the ground beneath you. Notice the physical tension you have been carrying in your jaw, the tightness in your neck from constantly bracing yourself for the next disappointment. Intentionally, physically drop your shoulders. Unclench your hands. Take a deep, slow, deliberate breath in, filling your lungs entirely, and exhale with a heavy, physical sigh. Tomorrow, when you wake up, do not immediately reach for that screen to check if they have finally remembered you exist. Break the physical habit of chasing when the familiar urge to reach out, to over-explain, or to send that text message rises up in your fingers. Physically fold your hands together in your lap. Stop the physical action of begging for bare minimum effort. Let the silence ring loudly in your physical space until it no longer feels like an agonizing absence, but a comforting, protective presence. Emotionally, this is where you finally cut the invisible trauma bonds. As you take these physical steps, you will feel emotional withdrawal symptoms. When that sharp, panicked anxiety hits that heavy, emotional lie telling you that you are making a mistake, that you will be alone forever, you must actively breathe right through it. Do not suppress it. Observe it. Acknowledge the deep feeling of betrayal, but refuse to let it build a permanent home inside your chest. You must completely emotionally detach from their reaction, their silence, and their misunderstanding of you. Their inability to see your worth is their emotional baggage, not your emotional burden to carry. Visualize that dense, heavy emotional fog lifting completely from your mind. Replace the desperate, hollow feeling of wanting to belong to their matrix with the deeply solid, indestructible emotion of radical self-acceptance. You are entirely safe with yourself. Feel that safety washing over you like a warm, heavy blanket. The emotional storm of rejection is passing right now, and what remains in its wake is a crystal clear, unshakable, sovereign calm. Spiritually, we now apply the final seal. This is the activation of your divine armor. Close your eyes for a moment and visualize a brilliant, blinding white light descending directly from the Most High, wrapping completely around your physical and energetic body. This is your high-frequency shield. No low vibrational energy, no narcissistic attachment, and no hidden enemy can penetrate this barrier. The spiritual doors behind you are slamming shut, locked eternally by the hand of the Creator. You are now cloaked, hidden, and elevated. Speak these words into the atmosphere right now, either out loud or in the deep, echoing silence of your own mind. I call my power back to me now. I call back every ounce of vital energy I have ever freely given to those who took it for granted. I release the desperate need to be understood by the matrix. I accept my divine separation. I am a sovereign being of pure, radiant light. The universe goes before me, clearing my path, entirely severing the toxic cords of my past. I am completely hidden from my enemies. I am elevated far above their chaos. I step fully and boldly into my highest timeline today. I am unapologetic. I am untouchable. I am completely free. It is done. It is sealed. So be it. Your separation is your ultimate superpower. Do not ever let them make you feel guilty for outgrowing the very cage they desperately wanted you to die in. If this message resonated perfectly with your spirit today, if you felt this activation in your very bones, type "I accept my upgrade" in the comments below to officially claim this energy and seal it into your reality. Subscribe to this sanctuary, because we are walking this high vibrational path together, and your true journey is only just beginning. You are the chosen one. Now, walk like it.